Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. We're going to compare this Shure SM7B up against the Rode Procaster. Now, firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. We just clicked over 16,000 subs, so thank you so much. In 2021, I'm going to be doing a lot more audio and video tutorials and reviews, so if you like this kind of content, you're not subscribed, please do so. Hopefully you get some value out of this. When I was researching which microphone to buy for my podcast, I didn't know which one to go for. These are so expensive in Australia, and the Rode stuff is far more affordable, and it's still a professional microphone. I use a lot of Rode microphones when I record bands live, as well as shotgun microphones, all kinds of stuff. But I really just thought, man, am I going to be blowing my dough buying a Shure SM7B? And if you missed my review, I'll leave a link up in the cards. I'm very, very impressed with this microphone overall, as I'm very impressed with the Rode Procaster. So let's talk a little bit about value for money. So in Australia, the Shure SM7B is somewhere around 800 Australian dollars, right? So it's expensive. I'll leave links to Sweetwater and B&H and so forth down below if you live in the US, but these are far more affordable, and I don't think there's a massive trade-off in audio quality, with the exception of one thing. The plosives are sometimes completely unusable on this microphone, whereas the Shure, clearly because of the windsock on the front, has far less problems with that. So we can accommodate that by just using a $2.95 windshield, putting it on the front of the Procaster, and we're good to go. Now, in my headphones, there's a difference in the audio volume. The Shure SM7B actually requires more gain to get the same amount of volume that the Rode Procaster does, which means you do need some inline preamps, whether that's a cloud lifter like this. I only had one of these, so I didn't want to use this on one mic and something else on the other. So I'm using two SE Dynamites on both of these microphones to boost the gain 28 decibels into the preamp, which I'm using my Steinberg UR22 MK2. So you do need these for both of these microphones. You're not going to get any real usable gain out of either of them just plugging them directly into any sort of home consumer level sound card. Now, while I'm running both of these microphones through the SE Dynamite, I have the gain on the Rode set to 10 o'clock, whereas the gain on the Shure SM7B is set at 1 o'clock, plus the inline preamp system. So that's how much gain you'll need with this microphone over here. Now, if you're doing a video podcast, for example, the visual is also important. Now, we all know Joe Rogan and a million other podcasters use these microphones, and that's because a million other podcasters use these microphones. They all see people using them, they go, I'm going to get a Shure SM7B because X, Y, or Z is all using them. So visually, these have a look about them that looks really great on camera. The matte black finish. I like the fact they're fairly short, and the mounting bracket is really cool. The mounting bracket on the Rode Procaster is really nothing to email home about. It's not very good. It does the job, but it's nothing special. I kind of wish it was a little bit more like the Rode PodMic, which has, there's that plosive right there, the PodMic, that has this bracket, which is very, very similar to the Shure SM7B, but it's a small criticism, and it's not that much of a deal. I actually, in a way, kind of prefer this visually because that looks really cool. I'm not saying it's there's anything wrong with that. But while this doesn't look as robust, it's more visually appealing. You don't see just mic stands sitting right in front of you. It's a lot more, or it's a lot less distracting, in my opinion, having just this generic sort of microphone mount. But everyone has different opinions on that, so let me know what you think in the comments below in terms of visually. Let's compare the proximity effect on both of these microphones. So this is me right up close on the microphone now, trying to get that big, chesty broadcast kind of sound just by getting up on the microphone. The closer you get to most microphones, the more enhanced that proximity effect will be, and this is how that sounds. And now over to the Rode Procaster, checking out the proximity effect. So let me know if you like the sound of this one a little bit better over the Shure, or whether you prefer the proximity effect of the Shure. I think this just sounds a lot more uniform, whereas this has a far more modern sound to my ear, more low end, more top end. And if you're talking across it like this, the plosives aren't too bad. Plosives, but you're going to hear more, obviously, without having a windsock on the front. Up next, I wanted to check out the off-axis rejection. So I'm going to turn both microphones around and talk and isolate the audio from one of them. Here we go. This is the Shure SM SM7B with the microphone facing away from me. This is the Rode Procaster with the microphone facing away from me. Hopefully you could hear that. Now, when it comes to the technical specs of both of these microphones, this actually made me laugh. The Shure SM7B has a frequency response of 50 Hz to 20 kHz, so it goes all the way up to the high end of human hearing and rolls out a little bit of the low end. Now, when it comes to the Rode Procaster, it has a frequency response of 75 Hz to 18 kHz, so technically this is supposed to have less low end and less top end, but to my ear, it feels like it has more of both. I'd really love to know what you think and what you can hear through this. If you're listening on a phone, like a little crappy speaker on a phone, you might not hear the difference, but listen with some headphones, or if you've got some studio monitors or decent speakers, and let me know what you think. To me, this just sounds a whole lot fatter to my ear, or at least in these headphones. Whereas this still has that low end, but it doesn't sound as prominent. At least that's how it sounds in my headphones. So let us know what you think of the sound quality between these. Which one is best for you is going to be subjective based on which one you like the sound of, the visual of it, and which one you can afford. So when I put most of my podcasting equipment together, I didn't want to spend $800 on a microphone. So I got two of these and one of these, and that was still cheaper than that guy. So that might be a deciding factor. The other reason why I went for the Rode mics is, you know, they're made locally here in Australia, but that aside, I wanted something that was visually different to everybody using the Shure SM7Bs. But I got to be honest, I really love the sound of this. So yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts. Links to these microphones and all the gear will be below. Thanks again. Oh, it peaked there. Thanks again. Catch you soon. See ya.